Welcome to the Totally Awesome Fishing Show. Well, there's nothing better than getting down on the edge of the salt water on a beach, casting your line out. You never know what's out there. That's what I love about sea fishing. It's not stocked. It's not stocked. It's not artificial. It's real. Anything can be swimming up there. You just don't know. Anyway, a lot of guys like going shore fishing. A lot of guys like going beach fishing, surf fishing, some of you guys call it. Well, there's nothing better than a nice open beach, beautiful blue sky, warm sunshine, obviously not England, and some hard fighting fish. Here's a few tips on spinning with lures off a beach. Now, rod and reel. You can set yourself up with some pretty expensive gear if you have to. You don't necessarily need it for fish, let's say, up to about £20, £30. You should be able to catch those on pretty much your standard spinning gear off the beach. I'm going to be using, because I'm not going to go and buy some new stuff, is what's called an up-tider. It's an asymmetric rod. Asymmetric means that the blank here is shorter at one end than the other. It's a sort of tip section and a butt section, if you like. And one goes into the other, just like this, voila. And this one throws about 6 to 8 ounces. It has dual tips. So I'm going to give that a go. A bit heavy for spinning, really, but there you go. I'm going to make do and hopefully catch a few fish. Now, reels, that's a fixed spool reel. Okay, I think other countries call them spinning reels. This is a really good one. It's quite a good quality one because the drag at the front can be set to a really, really good poundage, or kilos if you like, of drag to be pulled off. So they're easy. You just open them, hook your finger around, cast out, close them, wind away. Sort of idiot proof really, and ideal because you can change speeds and really crank it in fast. What can I tell you about the line? You can use nylon line, but you will literally cast a lot further if you use braid. I'm not a lover of braid, I'll be the first to say it, but for this type of fishing, the more water you cover, the better with your lure. And well, let's not forget, you've got the surf pounding in towards you. You've also got wind as well you're going to have to contend with. Every little metre, every little yard you can get by casting a little bit farther with that lure could pull it in front of a fish. Let's get down to a beautiful sunny beach. The first thing you should do when you're looking at any form of beach is, what is the seabed like? Now here, when you get in tropical countries, it's clear. You want to be casting out where there's possibly a bit of rock, a bit of underwater vegetation, just some sort of feature that you can crank those lures across. Because when you're fishing in warm water, the fish are going to be moving a lot faster than in cold water. They're going to be chasing, they're going to be charged up. And as you can see on that beach, it's beautiful white sand close in, but you can see the dark area, and on the left where I'm casting you can see the rocky outcrop. That's the sort of place that predators are going to push in bait fish, trap them in the bay, and hopefully bring them within your casting range. Now, another thing you should do if you're fishing a surf beat with a big surge is, yes, don't do like I do and just go down fishing and the first wave comes up and swamps you. Get yourself a nice pair of plastic shoes, not nice leather ones like these, which are absolutely covered in salt water. Strip off or go in barefoot. That's the best way when you're fishing, and that way put them high up on the rocks, out the way, together with your camera, everything else. Now I got a tip off that some birds and some big jacks and, well, basically everything, swimming tunas, were in amongst the fish, the bait fish in this bay. And there is a South African guy I met called Craig. He was out there and he was already piling the pressure into those fish. Big jacks, but just look at the birds. If you're on an open beach, in warm water areas, tropical, subtropical areas, you've got to watch the birds. They are the telltale sign of where those bait fish are being hammered by the predators. They dumped you at the wrong beach down there. They put me at the other side, so I saw your trucks come in. I thought I'll wait. I saw the trucks with a load of dust behind it, so I knew you had a sense of purpose. It's a big one, yeah?
Beautiful fish. Good fun on the light here.
And he took you right in close, did he?
Yeah, came right in close, followed it all the way through the birds. But barbless hooks, no barbs on my hooks, all flattened.
Yep.
Just for the fun of it, less damage to the fish. And yeah, she'll go back in the water and we'll have another go on her just now, I think. Yeah, there's a couple other species out here. I've seen some good sized amberjacks, some almaco jacks as well, all really healthy fish. Hopefully some rainbow runners. This year we haven't seen a lot of rainbow runners with a fry. But yeah, we'll keep trying. Keep throwing in the shoal, trying to avoid the birds.
And what type of fry is out there? Is that scad thereafter?
It's scad thereafter. Really late in the year, it's usually April. April's usually the time for the scad.
Oh really?
So we're very late. We've had it a couple of months. And yeah, there's been some lovely tuna with it, and hopefully we can get some yellowtails.
Fingers crossed. I'd like to see you catch another one.
Keep going. Thank you very much.
Well, that's all very well and good, Graeme, but tell us something about the lures. Now, if you're using what we call a plug, which is an artificial body, if you like, imitating a fish, for beginners, just be aware, I've got two here just to show you, of the vane at the front here. Now this is angled down. That's a slow swimming lure. If you wind it fast, it will either spin or it will pop on the surface, and these fish need fast winding. So you need one with a shallow vane. You want a bit of weight in the body, a shallow vane there, that will dig into the water and it gives a most impressive action. Looking at it from the back, that's what the fish sees. You see that throbbing, waggling, wiggling action. He's just got to crash dive it. So that's the two. Just remember, a shallow vane like this will dig deeper, that's better. One like this, because this one can be pulled fast, this one can't be pulled fast. If you've got that, there's a lot of resistance, you can imagine, so it's not going to work really well. Get one with a vane like that, and it should get you the fish. That's what we call a one cast wonder.
That's all we need, yeah. A load of jacks.
And you on braid there?
Yeah, I'm on the lightest I'll go for sure, 50-pound braid.
On a really windy day, throwing against the surf pounding in and against the wind and the spray and everything can be a little trying if you're using artificial lures. So use metal lures. Any of these, you can put a treble at one end, a single hook and a swivel, I've got this one, which is a small sort of prism shaped jig there, but I've taken the treble hook off and I've wired in a single there in case anything with teeth comes along. I've taken the weak split ring off here and I've got to tie straight on there because it's fatter, and I figure that's even better than the split ring. Some of the cheap lures really do have absolute rubbish split rings with them, and you don't want to hook a fish and lose it. So I've wired a hook in there, and that's what I'm going to do there. Or you can just buy a standard, I call them jigs if you like, for casting. These are really heavy. It's a sort of wedge shape, and it flashes through the water. It casts a very, very long way, but you might want to upgrade with a split ring and a larger treble hook, or better still, take that off, put a single hook on there, and take the barb off. Just crush the barb with a pair of pliers, and you might want to put a heavy duty swivel at the top. I say, they're not monster fish, but by golly, they can pull hard.
That's a proper blackjack. So that is the elusive and not so elusive. Cold water.
Very cold.
That's the blackjack we're after. So those other ones the guy told us, I think the word is run.
Blackjack and blue legs, is that called?
Yeah, what the other guy said, the South African guy told us to come here, that was an Almaco jack, not an amberjack, and they got the line across the eye. But this thing is the chunky, steep-headed, rugged, hard-fighting, hard-biting, not think of anything else, blackjack. There you go, guys. I'll tell you what, that has got to be some pretty fantastic fishing, isn't it? Look at the size of that jack. That is a beautiful, beautiful fish. Really nice. Pleased with that one. That is a blackjack. It's got to be close to 10, 12 pounds on a tiny little English jig, but with a decent single hook. One thing I will say, guys, picking them up by the wrist of the tails, just watching some spikes on the end here, but just be careful doing that. Hook fell out because it's barbless. Oh, mama! Look at that! What a crackerjack fish! Let's get it back.
Now on some of the beaches you're going to find, well, let's say it's the swell. The sea conditions are going to dictate how far you can cast out. If those birds are working 200 to 300 to 400 yards offshore, you know the predators are there, you know the bait fish are there, but you just cannot get to them unless you send a bait out with a kite. But for lure fishing, for lure casting, you want to be watching those birds, and when they come within, let's say 60, 70 yards, you should be able to get lures with a fixed spool reel like this out. Generally, a multiplying reel just won't cast a lure as far as you can with a fixed spool. That's the general opinion I have. And here you can see a lot of the birds on the rocks there, they're waiting for the action to happen. So even if you see a lot of birds on the rocks, don't forget, they're there for a reason. In fact, it's so predatory in the tropics. Watch this crab. Even the crabs are trying to eat metal jigs. I mean, it's not the place to fall down and sleep at night, is it? As you can see, a couple of my English buddies were down there, and those birds had left the rocks because the fish had again pushed a lot of bait fish, small scad, in towards a casting distance that you can reach. And we were watching birds like frigate birds. They're a good, a good sign. They're looking all the time, and they can be very, very high in the sky. Generally, the higher the birds are in the sky, the deeper the fish are swimming at. But you can see an absolute well, it looks like black snowflakes through the air, feeding on the fish, and we're there casting out plugs, poppers, almost any lure you can get out there, because there's a huge range of predators that will feed when those bait fish come in close, just like this. And while Kev puts back this nice blackjack, look at what Phil finds flapping on the beach, driven up by those predators.
That's all right.
Look at that, off a beach.
Yeah.
Did you see it just fly up the beach or
No,
something?
it was flapping round, and then I looked, and the wave had took it back.
So do you think the other fish are chasing those in?
Who knows? It certainly wasn't flying. It come rolling up the beach there a few times, and well, I thought it was gone. It's
Still alive, still alive.
Yeah, it's like a mullet, isn't it?
A mullet with
Wings.
weird wings.
Between a mullet and a heron, isn't it? What a lovely fish.
As well as a fast-moving species like jacks, rainbow runner and tuna, if you fish near the edge of the rocks, you'll find that the grouper will come out. They will be attacking the same bait fish. As the birds die back and just move away because they think the bulk of the bait fish are gone, if you move more towards the rocks and cast your lure a little bit deeper, just let it pause rather than cranking it in fast, you can still get those grouper, because let's face it, they live in and around the rock and reefy areas. So even though the main jacks, the fast swimming, hard fighting game fish are gone, you can always catch those groupers near the rocks. And you don't need to cast all the time. You can basically just sit back and watch the activity of the birds. As soon as those birds start firing up, run down to the beach and fire that lure out, crank it back as fast as you can. Either surface poppers, metal jigs, anything that you can wind fast, bringing in. Often skipping across the top of the surface is better than the lure working under the surface, because it looks exactly like a fleeing bait fish jumping away. And that which looks natural to those predators will get them grabbing and snapping at those lures. And not just other species of jacks, but Almaco jacks, up to 10 pounds, will take these metal jigs, will take poppers. Lots of different species are in there and biting.
We've run down the beach, we've gone to catch the airplane, a few casts. One of the beaches, a fabulous, I'd say it's close to double figures, rainbow runner. What a beautiful fish. Get it back and get out there beach fishing.